What is the atmosphere like on the streets of Paris? Is it tense?
Well, not really, Paul. People are going about their business here in Paris. This will be the first day in a very long time. French voters don't hear directly from the presidential candidates. Of course, the campaign officially ended on Friday night, and many candidates had, of course, cut short their campaign following that incident, that attack on the Champs-Élysées on Thursday night. Several of the candidates did not attend any meetings, did not really campaign on Friday. Since that incident in which a police officer was killed and 2 others wounded in the heart of Paris, security has really become the focus of the political debate here in France, with all presidential candidates talking about what had happened, expressing their views on what should be done to protect this country, especially, of course, those candidates on the right. François Fillon and Marine Le Pen have been talking about what they believe is a lack of response from the socialist government of François Hollande, blaming the administration for not doing enough to protect France. And the response came, of course, from the Prime Minister Bernard Cazeneuve, who said that it was shameful for candidates to exploit this tragedy to their political gains, saying that they should be embarrassed of themselves, so they should not try to play out with the raw emotions, the fear that the French might be experiencing to their advantage. Of course, the French have shown a lot of calm, they've been relatively cool-headed despite what has happened on Thursday in the Champs-Élysées. They have, of course, understood that the threat of terrorism exists here in France. More than 230 people have been killed here since 2015, but that doesn't seem to stop the French from going on with their lives.
This is France's new normal. Soldiers are now a constant sight in the streets of Paris and other cities across the country, a reflection of the current global threat of terror. More than 230 people were killed in attacks in France since 2015, and the government continues to try to contain the danger. For Yannick, sitting and waiting for a solution was simply not an option.
After the events of 2015, something clicked. So the attacks are the main reason I joined the reserve. I thought to myself, if I don't take action now, one day terrorism will knock on my front door.
And to avoid that, thousands of young people like Yannick are being called in to help. The operational reserve hopes to enlist 40,000 people by the end of 2018. The idea is to at least make the French feel safer.
It makes us feel that we have a government that cares about its people.
It could happen to anyone, so the fact that they're always around, practically in every street, it's reassuring.
We are scared for them, very scared. It is such a shame to think that they could be attacked, them who are here to monitor us, to protect us.
Despite the government's efforts to secure the country, incidents like the one in Paris on Thursday highlight the challenge terrorism still represents to the French security forces.
So you're saying the threat is still present, still real?
It's massive, yes.
Claude Moniquet is a security consultant who well knows the difficulties the French are facing. He worked for France's intelligence service for 20 years.
So we have between 2,000 and 3,000 people who could be dangerous and are present on the French territory. The capacity of surveillance allows the police intelligence service to survey approximately 200 people at the same time, no more. And 200 people, I mean, altogether. That means that it's also for the criminals, it's for the Russian spies, it's for the Cosa Nostra, and for the terrorists.
Limited resources and several enemies, a combination held responsible for yet another attack on France's soil on Thursday night. As they head to the polls on Sunday, the French will be reminded that they will have to go on with life while learning to live with the threat of terrorism.
And the issue of how terrorism has really entered the campaign here in France is being reflected on all front pages of the newspapers this Saturday. The Aujourd'hui en France talks about a tense vote. And you see there a picture of the French police. Of course, 50,000 extra police officers and soldiers are going to be deployed across France to try and make people at least feel safe here in France. But they're talking also about the fact that terrorism and the sense of insecurity has added to the uncertainty surrounding this vote. Of course, we have four leading candidates in the race, four leading candidates that have all chances to reach a second round of the vote. And it is really hard for people here to predict what is going to happen. Meanwhile, the Figaro talks about how terrorism has cast a shadow on the first round of the vote, and also talks about how it has added to the difficulty in really foreseeing here the outcome of this election. As I mentioned before, this Saturday, French voters won't be hearing directly from the candidates, but they will be hearing from analysts and journalists who will be reporting throughout the day about the main issues here in France, about the economy, about terrorism. For sure, this will dominate the reports and the analysis here today in an attempt to try and help some of those millions of people who are still undecided, who still don't know who they're going to vote for on Sunday, Paul. Up to 40% of the French voters are still undecided. They have no idea who they're going to vote for in just 24 hours' time.
Yeah, we'll find out on Sunday. Annalise, thank you.